Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We are going to be live on the radio in about 3 minutes, and we're going to cover a lot today. The surrender of Panama to the United States and President Trump. I mean, think about it. You know, President Trump is responsible for regime change in Canada, which just a couple posts on Truth Social about Trudeau, Governor Trudeau, 51st state of Canada, and we have total regime change in Canada over this. They got the election in October, but it's still regime change. Look how Trump did. All this regime change that the United States has been involved in, mass wars in Iraq, CIA, espionage. Trump just posts on Truth Social, boom, regime change, right? He sends Marco Rubio to Panama. Boom. Panama surrenders the Canal to the United States, kicks China out. So I mean, it's absolutely amazing. It's all this winning. Yeah, I have goosebumps again. I get goosebumps every day looking at what's going on here. You know, this is the first time we have had an American president who puts America and Americans first. And that's the way it is. So we're going to be live in just a few minutes. Actually, in about 2 minutes, we'll be live on the radio. I'll be taking your calls. I'm going to start with Panama because I want to throw a question out about what Marco Rubio did in Panama and take your calls. If you want to call in, the number is toll-free and it's pinned in the live chat. So if you're watching live, you can call me live. You'll be on the radio as well when you call me. So that's what I'm going to start with because I got a question, and maybe a bit of a controversial question, but I'm going to ask it. And those of you that are watching on the live stream that has the green background, when I play the audio sound bites, you don't hear them on that stream. You'll hear the callers. You'll hear the callers, but not the audio sound bites. To hear the audio sound bites, you'll have to go to my other stream, just so you know, giving you a heads up in advance. And those of you in the chatting, the mods want to tell people when they start griping about that. But I'm going to start with Panama, because what happened in Panama was absolutely amazing. I mean, look, here we got the president of Panama. Panama's president has ended Panama's deal with China. I mean, that's what I'm starting with. But I'm going to throw something out about how and why that happened. And we have 1 minute until we're live on the radio. It's like all this winning. We've never won like this before. And I think a lot of people find it uncomfortable because Americans are not used to winning like this. We're just not. 45 seconds. If you're new, subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian Craig. And, winning. There's never been so much winning for the United States. Not since the Second World War, but that was at a great cost. This hasn't cost us anything. All right, stand by. 15 seconds. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. It is Monday, February 3rd, and we start off Black History Month with all these great wins for the United States by President Trump, and we're going to talk about all of them, including the trade tariff wars with Canada and Mexico, and there's a lot to cover. There really is. And your calls. But I first want to start with what happened over the weekend with Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Panama. You know, Panama surrendered the Panama Canal to the United States. And this is amazing. Marco Rubio flew down there. And this broke last night. Panama's president has ended Panama's Panama Canal deal with China immediately following the meeting with Marco Rubio. This is an insanely beautiful thing. I've never seen such a quick thing. And if you look at what President Trump has been doing, he's done more in less than 2 weeks than most presidents do in 4, maybe even 8 years. He's responsible for regime change in Canada because Trudeau's on his way out with the election in October, and the Panama Canal is back under U.S. control. Now, that doesn't mean that he's still not going to, President Trump, send the military down there and take it with the military, but they've kicked China out. And what happened in the Panama Canal, there's a few things that have happened here, okay? President Trump chose Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, I think primarily because he's a native Spanish-speaking Cuban American. And President Trump understands that the greatest threat to the United States of America is Latin America. And he needs someone who speaks their language, a native speaker, who probably knows a lot of these leaders, but even if he doesn't, he speaks their language fluently as a native Spanish speaker, Marco Rubio. And he needed someone like that to deal with these guys. And I'm going to throw this out to you all, and you may disagree with this or agree, but I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think the Panama Canal deal Panama just caved, just totally caved on a dime? Do you think that this would have been resolved so easily, kicking China out of the Panama Canal zone, if it wasn't Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, but say like Rick Grinnell? What I mean is a white guy, a gringo. And I believe that the fact that Marco Rubio is Hispanic, he's Cuban, he's a native speaker, and he speaks it fluently as a native speaker of Spanish, I think that's what clinched it. I think that in Latin America, I don't think these leaders like gringos all that much. And by the way, gringo is a racial slur. It is, it's like cracker. But it's also like the N-word for white people, okay? So white guys and women, white people like me, we can say gringo, but if you're not white, you have to say the G word, just so you know. It is a racial slur, and it's been well established over the years that people that racial slur describes are the ones that are allowed to use it and no one else. But I believe that the Hispanic leaders are racist. They don't like white guys. They don't like gringos. And if Trump would have sent a gringo down there, it would have been resolved, but not so easily. It happened on a dime because of that. That's my thought. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But I was watching the Panamanians show Marco Rubio the Panama Canal. Did you see any of that video yesterday? They were kissing Marco Rubio's rear end like I've never seen a Secretary of State's rear end kissed. And this is how it's supposed to be. The United States of America, not just as the most powerful country militarily that's ever existed in the world, we're the number one largest economy in the world. We're the most powerful economically, too, by far. No country even comes close to us. And we should be treated with respect, as opposed to having secretaries of state like we've had in the last 4 years or in other years, like John Kerry and such, who go to these countries and suck up to them and bring blank checks with them to fill out. They give huge checkbooks to secretaries of state. They go over to these countries and they beg and plead with them. Marco Rubio went down there speaking Spanish, I'm sure, and said, this is the way it is. Okay? This is the way it is. And it happened. China's out of the Panama Canal zone. And when I saw them kissing Marco Rubio's butt down there in Panama yesterday, that's how it's supposed to be. The countries of the world should fear the United States. That's not a bad thing. Don't let them convince you that America first is a bad thing. And when I say America, I mean the United States of America, not, the Americas. That's not a bad thing. Nationalism is not a bad thing. Everyone should want their country. Don't you put your family first? I put my family first. Why shouldn't you put your country first? So this is amazing. And, down there in Panama, they realized a couple of things. One, that the treaties that they have with us, when we handed over control of the Panama Canal, does allow the United States to go in there anytime the United States feels that the canal is not secure, that we can go down there and take it back, or take back physical control of it. We can do that on a dime according to the treaties. They realize that's the case. And they also realized that Trump is not playing, that he's serious, that he will take it. And the deal's not done. Donald Trump still may take physical control of the Panama Canal, but the next step for Marco Rubio, who had a miraculous victory, I mean, this was really a great victory, and Florida's own Marco Rubio did a great job, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. But the next step is to get rid of this overpricing of U.S. ships that they're charging to travel through the Panama Canal. They shouldn't be charging us anything, or a very low fee that covers their cost, because we paid for the construction of that Panama Canal, not just with money, but with the lives of thousands of Americans who constructed it. I have not seen an American Secretary of State go to a country like this that really was getting kind of hostile and very butch with us and come out with a deal like this so fast. Ever, ever, ever. Have you? No. And it's been many years since we've seen a country deal with a Secretary of State like this. It's always begging and pleading and bribing them. And not only did Panama kick China out, okay, and suck up to the United States and Marco Rubio, they seemed pretty happy to do it too, didn't they? There was zero, or as they say in Panama, cero, right? As I say for my Spanish 101. It was zero pushback against Marco Rubio. And like I say, this is only the beginning. So we got a lot to cover. We're going to take our first break. When I get back, I'm going to get into the trade wars with Canada and Mexico. And I would like to hear your thoughts on all of this, including if Trump sent a gringo Secretary of State, would it have happened so fast? Are the Latin American leaders racist towards gringos? I say they are. Our number is 1-888-465-2631. When have you seen a Secretary of State have a victory like that? 1-888-465-2631. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. If you're on hold, stand by. When we get back, I'm going to talk about my pillow, and then we're going to get to the calls. Remember, it's free shipping on all orders of any size, no matter how small or large, with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. If you want to support the program, go to mypillow.com and order something. When we get back, I'll get into some more details on that. Oh, yeah, this is the best. We've never had winning like this. Not conducted the cooperation. Looks like Panama's cooperating to me. Don't you think? Oh, yes. They are cooperating, and so will Canada. I've got something on Canada I'm going to get to in just a minute. Let me cue it up. you're on hold, hang in there. Okay, we'll be back in just over a minute. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. One minute and we will be back live. If you're on hold, hang in there. Oh, man. You guys sick of winning yet? I'm not sick of winning. Winning is awesome. We've never won like this before. You can use my promo code Kane in the My Store as well, by the way, guys. Here we go. 10 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. Callers on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phone shortly. A lot of winning over the weekend that we've been talking about, and we haven't even scratched the surface yet. There's so much to cover. But first, I want to remind you guys of this incredible offer from Mr. Mike Lindell. That I call him the Thomas Edison of sleep because he invented that patented fill that will give you the best night's sleep you've ever had on the My Pillows. Oh man, are you sleeping on a My Pillow? If you're not sleeping. You're just not. You know, same goes for the sheets and the mattresses and the mattress toppers. I have everything, and it'll change your life. You'll get real rested sleep. And Mike Lindell has a huge sale going on site-wide, huge discounts on some of the most popular MyPillow products with our promo code Kane at checkout. But he's also offering free shipping with our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, free shipping on all orders, no matter how large or how small. Now, for a while, we've been telling you it's free shipping on orders over $75. No, it's now free shipping on everything, no matter how small. You could order a pair of the MyPillow socks. It's free shipping. Now, you don't see this listed on the website. You'll see it when you check out, okay? It's kind of like a secret sale, but free shipping on all orders site-wide with our promo code Kane at checkout. It's a great time to load up. You can also order by phone toll-free, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian.
Oh, hey, Richie. Hey, Richie. Lots of winning going on.
Oh, so much winning I can't stand it, but it's coming so fast. Listen, you compared first of all, Marco Rubio's his experience, his demeanor, his understanding of what's going on in South America. That's a major thing, but it all comes down to Trump because you look at what's his name? I forgot the guy's name already. The guy that went to Venezuela.
Rick Grinnell.
And he got that deal right away too.
Yeah, he did.
Venezuela didn't want to take any more.
He did. That's no doubt about it.
So it's the Godfather. It's the Godfather in Washington D.C. and they're afraid of him because he says what he means, and he means what he says. I'm so sick of these people. Listen, I'm sick of what's going on in California. I'm thinking of your daughter right now. They're all going crazy out there in the streets. Thousands of them protesting that with Mexican flags. This is the United States. It's not California. It's not Mexico, but yet they can't. This is going on and on and on. And then I watch Christy, Rob Emanuel, and Stephanopoulos. Trump doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, the thing in California, it was interesting. I was talking to my daughter on the phone yesterday. She was on the freeway, but she wasn't in that part of the freeway. There's everything in California, in Los Angeles, is a freeway. Because I was asking her, "Are you seeing the Mexicans? Are they blocking the traffic?" She says, "Not here." But it really shows you how out of touch with reality the whole Democrat Party is. But these Mexicans, I'm surprised Tom Homan didn't send ICE over there to the freeway and start rounding people up. It sounded like a honey trap going on over there on the freeway. But the arrogance of them to think that they're entitled to be here. Like they believe that the United States is or that California is U.S. occupied Mexico. They think it's Mexico.
Mexico too. Texas rather too. Texas too also.
Yes.
I mean,
the whole Southwest.
People, you're right. They're not just arrogant. They're not just arrogant, Brian. It's an entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
This is their country. I'm going to say something that's going to offend people.
Oh, God forbid.
I don't care.
We don't want to do that. Let's not offend people, Richie.
No, I understand.
No, I'm kidding.
But you came on and you said, this is my first day of Black History Month. I don't believe in that at all. I don't believe in Mayo de Cinco.
Cinco de Mayo.
You want to be happy about your holidays, be happy about your holidays, but don't push it on everybody else. And as far as I'm concerned, there's American history, there's Mexican history, there's not Mayo de Cinco, and there's not Black History Month.
It's Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, and LGBTQRX whatever month. Every group. That's what's happened.
Well, did you see that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth dropped all holidays except the 4th of July from the Pentagon? So the military will not recognize anything other than 4th of July.
Right, and no gay flags in the embassies with American flags.
Or BLM flags. Or
exactly.
or Ramadan.
That's what I'm saying. They divided us amongst groups, and they've been very successful to destroy this country. There's no patriotism here. I had a neighbor last night come down. Look at your president raising prices with these tariffs. Well, I thought he was going to lower prices. He's only been in a job 2 weeks, man. I mean, and I says, I don't care if I have to pay more for anything to keep this country safe. I believe in this guy knows what he's doing. And they're constantly
but believe
really
I'm going to get into some of the details after the bottom of the hour, but in a lot of detail. But Mexico and Canada cannot win a trade war. About 100% of Mexican exports are to the United States, if you include their their drugs.
Trade war either.
And Canada between 75 and 80% of Canada's goods are exported to the United States. Okay, they cannot win a trade war against us. Neither country.
No, and you brought up Marco Rubio really quick, and you want to compare Marco Rubio, Tony Blinken, his first international conference.
Tony Blinken.
He was mocked by the Chinese and left with his tail between his legs.
Yeah,
this ain't happening here.
No, it was. I watched Marco Rubio walk down the steps of that plane in Panama with that BDE going on, and it was done. It was done before any meetings happened. They knew. You could see it in his gait that he meant business.
Oh, Brian, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to this country. It's not going to happen overnight. He's got to turn it around. But they're attacking him every step of the way. And as far as I'm concerned, he's competent.
I love how the tariffs, the import taxes. I love how Democrats are telling us how taxes cause prices to go up. Why don't they worry about that when they're taxing Americans, right?
Yeah, well, listen, they kept their mouth shut for 4 years with an incompetent, brain-dead president that they backed and hidden in the basement of the White House, didn't let him out.
Yeah,
and they backed him 100%. And look what's happened. Look at the difference in the. You look what's happened. Homeland Security with the difference in the two of them. Trump has hired for his cabinet competent people. And he needs his cabinet. I hope the Democrats
these are what we've had, and this isn't just with the Biden cabinet. This is with all the past presidents. Okay, their cabinets and secretaries of states, they go around apologizing for the United States, begging for forgiveness, writing checks to everyone. Richie, I got to run, but first call of the day, you started off all right. Richie's first call of the day, and I think it went all right. If you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break. I'll come back with the calls, and then I'm going to get into some details on how we're going to win this. How can you call it a trade war? They're so outmatched. You know, I mean, the United States, a trade war with Mexico and Canada and the United States, even with Canada and Mexico united against the United States, is like that episode of Seinfeld when Kramer was in the karate tournament. And remember, they went and saw him in the karate tournament, and Kramer was fighting 5-6-year-old kids, and he was winning everything. That's what it's like, okay? We're like Kramer with the little kids in the karate match. That's with Canada and Mexico combined against us. So if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and get into more detail and take your calls. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I remind you guys, our cruise, our 6th annual listener cruise Steve Kane and I are taking, leaves March 30th. And it's sold out. If any cabins open up, we will let you know, but it's sold out. But those of you that have already signed up for the cruise, call Ian if you've not already done this from Cruise and Travel Depot. You have his number. I don't have to give it to you. And sign up for those shore excursions because some of those are going to sell out before we even leave dock. And you want to lock your space in on the shore excursions. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be back right after this break. All right, we will be back in less than a minute. Shanta, thank you so much. Yes, I'm going to get to the USAID thing in a little bit. Don't worry. I got a great article on that. I'm going to go through that a little bit. I went through it on my podcast last night, but I'm going to cover it here too. But I got few things I want to get to. Before we get to that, we're here till 9. We got 2.5 hours left of the program. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Okay, here we go. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show on this winning MAGA Monday morning. Oh, man. And I got to tell you, the weather in South Florida over the was the best weekend weather we've had, it seems to me, like in months. I don't think it's a coincidence that Trump was in town at Mar-a-Lago all weekend because the clouds were gone, the skies were blue, and the temperatures were perfect. Perfect beach weather. I tell you, that's great. But no, all this winning going on is beautiful. I'll take a call or two, and then we'll get into some of the details of the collapse of the Canadian and Mexican economies if they don't step up and do what Trump wants them to do. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike. Okay, turn down the volume in the background whatever you're listening to me on, if you don't mind.
Gotcha. It's down. So my thing with these secretaries of state, I went and did a little bit of research, and other than Condoleezza Rice and now our friend Mr. Rubio here, there's only been those are the only two minority secretaries of state we've ever had.
Really? You mean non-white? You mean non-white?
Not white.
Really? Obama? Oh, John Kerry was Secretary of State with Obama. I didn't think about that.
So was Hillary Clinton.
Wow. Yeah, and Hillary Clinton. Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Wow.
Here's the deal.
Why don't Democrats? Why don't Democrats like Secretary of States of color?
I don't know. I mean, it must be something. I mean, we know they have a racist history. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt.
But the thing.
Wow.
Here's the deal with Rubio. Trump is the new sheriff in town, and Rubio is one of his top deputies. Mm-hmm. And generally, you respect the deputy sheriffs.
That's right.
And that's what this is. This is this respect for Trump that bleeds through to Rubio.
Yeah. This thing you pointed out though, Mike, that I'm racking my brain. I think you're right that we've had two non-white secretaries of state. They've both been Republicans, right? Condoleezza Rice and Marco Rubio's Hispanic. Condoleezza Rice is black, for those that don't remember. And, Alicia Keys at the Grammys, I saw the clip. I didn't watch the Grammys. Who cares what Alicia Keys thinks? But they're on the left, they're all talking about DEI and how important it is. And one of the reasons that the left, DEI, didn't earn it, it's the new affirmative action. The reason they support that is because they think that everybody's as racist as they are, and the only way they'll appoint and hire non-white people is if there's some law or regulation requiring it. Apparently, I think that here we are, the beginning of the first week of Black History Month. We should honor Republicans for making non-white people secretaries of state, which is pretty high. That Secretary of State is a pretty big deal. It's like as high as it gets next to president.
Yeah, at one point, Secretary of State was a stepping stone to being president.
Not since 1800 something. When's the last time a Secretary of State became president? Like in the 1800s, maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
And I don't particularly think that Rubio is going to become president because, again, he's not a big guy, but that's not my thing. And we were all worried about who is going to be his replacement in the Senate. I think you guys got a great replacement for him.
Moody. Yeah, she seems all right. You know,
Yeah.
she was a little nervous in that hearing the other day, but that's okay. It's her first time. Hey, Mike, thanks for the call. We got so much to cover today, but I want to continue on here early with the trade wars. I found this video, which has gone, I think it's gone, if not viral, semi-viral, and it certainly will be. This is a guy who's a Canadian, as you'll hear from his Canadian accent. And he's a Canadian guy on TikTok, and he's talking about how Canada cannot win a trade war with the United States. And I want to share this because he's Canadian. In the beginning, he tells us what tariffs are, okay? I know what tariffs are, but he gets to some good points because he knows Canada since he's Canadian. Listen.
Donald Trump's tariffs are going to turn Canada into a third world country. Without exaggeration, we will soon...
Hear that? Hear the Canadian accent? Without...
Without exaggeration, we will soon be better known as Snow Mexico.
That's a Canadian. I like that. Snow Mexico. What a great name for Canada. Snow Mexico.
Donald Trump's tariffs are going to turn Canada into a third world country. Without exaggeration, we will soon be better known as Snow Mexico. So first, what is a tariff? A tariff is an import or export tax, meaning anything that goes into America being sold to an American company or individual will have a 25% federal tax added to it to be paid by the person who is buying the product. Now, again, this doesn't mean Canadians will have to pay 25% more, but what it does is it prices us out of the international market.
See, out the Canadian accent. Now he's going to go into the details now on how Canada will not be able to win this trade war. Listen.
And when it comes to America, Americans will just no longer buy anything from Canada. To put it into perspective as to how big of a deal this is, roughly 60% of our international trade is with America, and that accounts for 40% of our overall GDP. So our trade with America is almost half of our entire economic productivity, which is about to just be wiped off of our spreadsheet.
How can they? So half of their economy is based on exports to the United States. Half. About 3 to 5% of our economy is based on Canada. But half of theirs is? Oh, my goodness.
And again, to really hammer in how serious this is, Doug Ford has said that his team has already advised him that he can expect unemployment numbers to go up by 500 to 600,000.
Wow.
Ontario's current unemployment is 600,000, meaning our unemployment is expected to double in the face of these tariffs. And
by the way, isn't this Ford guy the brother of that crackhead mayor? This is amazing. So their unemployment is going to double. Half their GDP is going to be wiped out. How's Canada going to win this? This is not even a fair fight. I almost feel bad. Almost.
And will definitely reach double-digit percentage-wise. Now, why are these tariffs being put in place? Donald Trump has cited our border as the issue. Over the recent years, the number of individuals being apprehended at the Canada-U.S. border that are on terrorist watch lists has skyrocketed. So to put as a comparison, it's roughly 350 individuals on terrorist watch lists apprehended at the Canada-U.S. border compared.
Wow. So we got 350 terrorists apprehended on the border. How many did not get apprehended?
To 150 at the Mexico-U.S. border.
Oh, my goodness.
Meaning Canada is now the preferred route into America for terrorist and criminal organizations because of our lax immigration policies. For instance, Trudeau has turned Canada into an open border experiment over the last few years. Even just today, the Globe and Mail reported that 50,000 international students have not been showing up for class, meaning we have people that just, come here due from international student status and buy their way into Canada, essentially, and then just disappear once they're here. Even India has launched an investigation into the amount of Indians that come here with programs like our international student program and then immediately illegally cross into America.
Wow.
Also, our asylum program is a massive...
Okay, so my question, why are we supposed to eat all this up? Why are we supposed to give all this money to Canada every year, have this unfair trade imbalance with Canada, and they're flooding our country with illegals, with terrorists, with drugs like fentanyl and others, and we're supposed to just suck that up, and there's something wrong with Trump because he wants to stop that? Explain that to me.
Issue. People come here, they actually, here's a rock solid case, is the Ahmed Al-Didi case, who was granted Canadian citizenship after, despite being on video, dismembering a victim for ISIS. He came here as an asylum seeker and did the whole year or two long process of that and then got granted Canadian citizenship. So again, this isn't the vast majority of them that are doing this, but the small number of them that are just slipping through the cracks because Canada is...
Okay, so that's one... I mean, this is really brutal. And here's another guy on TikTok who did a breakdown of the trade war imbalance between Mexico, Canada, and the United States. I remember the story yesterday was Canada and Mexico have joined forces against the United States. Listen to this guy. It's hilarious. Well, you know what? I'm looking at the clock. Let me take our break, and then I'll get into that when we get back, all right? But I want to tell you guys about Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. You guys know, I've told you many times, Dr. Appleton has rid me of pain 7 times. Sometimes from just aging, like arthritis, but other times from injuries. Took a fall a few times, different parts of my body were hurt, and he treated me. The pain's gone, and it has not returned. The first time he treated me was my right knee that I'd suffered from pain in, pretty bad pain, since I was about 20 years old. And he treated me, boom, pain gone, it has not returned, and that's been 2.5 years. His laser away pain treatment works on every type of pain I've ever heard. Arthritis, bronchial neuralgia, bursitis, hip pain, knee pain, lumbar pain, muscular contraction, sciatica, strains and sprains, tinnitus, tennis elbow, neck pain, back pain, stenosis, knee pain. It works on every type of pain I've heard of, and I'm learning of new pains all the time. It's really amazing because... I think a lot of people thought like I did, because you remember our grandparents. You think that aches and pains and suffering are just part of growing older. It doesn't have to be that way. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. The laser treatment is 100% painless. You don't even feel it. There's no sensation at all. It's painless, but you don't feel it. There's no shots, no injections, no drugs, no downtime. Dr. Appleton performs all the laser treatments himself, and walk-ins are welcome. Appointments are never needed, even on Saturdays. However, if you're coming, that doesn't mean you cannot make an appointment. If you'd like to make an appointment, you can. And if you're coming from out of town, out of state, like many of our listeners do, you might want to make an appointment, but you don't need to. Walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. Dr. Appleton's number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. All right, I want to cue this guy up.
Hey, you liberal fruitcakes.
Okay, yes.
Fruitcakes. See a lot of you crying. First, a tariff is a tax imposed
Okay.
on a country.
I'll play the whole thing. What the heck? Because this guy's pretty good. I like this guy. And, there's just... Canada and Mexico are so outmatched, and the way it's being portrayed in the media is if they're somehow equally matched with us, and nothing could be further from the truth. There's no there's no comparison between the power of the United States and Canada and Mexico economically. There's none. There's nothing they can do that could lay a hand on us economically. There's just not. It's just they're outmatched by far. It's like we have a if it was like an army, it would be like our modern army that we have going up against, I don't know, a World War I army would be a pretty good comparison. That's about, a good way to look at it. If you'd like to call in, if you're watching live, the number is pinned in the chat. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll get to the phones in just a bit. And we're going to be back in about 45 seconds. They're so outmatched, they should just surrender. There's no hope for Canada and Mexico to win this. There's just none. Okay. 20 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. So this trade war with the United States and Canada and Mexico, who have, I read yesterday online, they've teamed up. They've teamed up. They've joined forces. They are so, Canada and Mexico, even united, are so outmatched that they don't have a hope or a prayer. And if this were, not a trade war, but like a fighting war, we have this, even with this DEI stuff that's been very destructive to our military the last few years, with our advanced military, right? This would be the equivalent of the trade war with a united front of Canada and Mexico against the United States in a trade war. Would be like the modern United States Army going up against a World War I era army. Many of those guys were still on horseback. And it's becoming very obvious. The media are trying to portray that they are our equals economically. It's not even close. And here's another guy that goes through the trade imbalances between the United States and Mexico and Canada. And he's kind of funny, too. Listen to this guy. And then I'll go to the phones. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to the phone shortly.
Hey, you liberal fruitcakes. See a lot of you crying over tariffs, saying it's going to destroy the economy. Want to look at trade economics? First, a tariff is a tax imposed on a country's imported goods and services. The United States only imports 15% of goods and services internationally. The rest is domestic. Now, a lot of you are concerned about what's happening with Canada and Mexico. Well, you remember that 15% I talked about? Canada and Mexico only produce 5% of that. That means between both of them, they only produce 5% of the United States GDP.
Okay, that's Canada and Mexico combined is only 5% of our GDP combined. And by the way, that's we wouldn't even notice that.
So guess what? This trade war is going to turn both of those places into a third world country, although Mexico already is one. Now, the reality is we don't want that. But the United States is tired of being taken advantage of by the countries who are refusing to pay their fair share. And we all know you guys want fair share. And tariffs are a way of achieving that. Now, let's look at Canada. 20% of the GDP of Canada comes from the United States trade agreements.
Wow.
And 75% of their trade happens with the United States. Now, that means if prices go up because of imported goods from Canada, Americans are going to refuse to buy them. Meaning, Canada's not going to make any money. And as we're 75% of their trade, that's going to be detrimental to their economy. And Mexico doesn't even remotely have a leg to stand on, with 40% of their GDP tied into American export. Now, I know you're going to say that Canada's threatened to turn off power to Americans. Well, we'll just raise the tariff. They're not going to turn it off. Do you know why? Because Canada's utilities is $55 billion in debt. which means they can't afford to turn off the United States' power. Now you're going to say that other countries are going to stop trading with America. Well, they only make up 10% of the GDP of the United States. And we'll just pull funding from NATO, because we fund 75% of that, which means all of them would have to cut their social services, like Canada paying reparations rather than investing in their own military, which they didn't. They spend more money on social services than investing in their own military. The reality is tariffs are good.
Yeah, okay. I mean, so you see the imbalance. They're not even on the same, not only are they not on the same league, they're decades behind us. Canada is a tiny, landmass-wise, it's big, but they're a tiny little economy, an itsy-bitsy little economy that are so outmatched in this trade war, they don't have a hope or a prayer. You know? And, it's really amazing. I could do what I just did with these two guys. I could do this all day because X is filled with a lot of Canadians who have a lot of inside knowledge on the Canadian economy that are exposing how weak and tiny their economy is in comparison to the United States. Could you imagine if Elon Musk had not bought Twitter and turned it into X, this would all be silenced by those old leftists that ran Twitter. But there are millions of Canadians who are sick and tired of this government they have up there doing the things they're doing, so they're sharing all of our secrets and all of their secrets with us. And I'll tell you another thing. One of Trump's top advisors when it comes to the Canadian trade war is Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. He's a billionaire Canadian, okay? And he's at Mar-a-Lago all the time. He's tight with Trump, and he backs Trump. And and believe me, that guy knows everything about the Canadian economy. And Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, is a perfect advisor for Trump to have while this is going on. So they have no hope. And by the way, this idea that 40% or so of the exports of Mexico to the United States, that does not include their drugs and human trafficking, which Trump has shut down. Just on the drugs and the human trafficking shutdown in Mexico is enough to probably collapse their economy, on top of these other things. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Thomas Jefferson from Georgia.
Hey, Thomas. What's up?
Hey, so I love all the liberal tears that have been flowing for the past couple weeks.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And so I look at different sources and read different things, and so the comments that I'm seeing on the liberal side is that they're ecstatic that the Canadians are, in their mind, they're going to shut down our oil, gas, and electricity, and they're going to make us suffer. And I'm like, that's an act of war. That's the last thing they're going to do. That is not an option.
In oil and well, first off, we don't need Canadian oil or gas. We have more oil and natural gas than anyone in the world, including Canada.
Oh, some of them are saying something about the refineries that we're not suited for to refine it like we used to. With I guess after Biden had shut down some coal industry.
I don't know. You're going to hear all kinds of things in the media to discourage this, but Trump knows what he's doing.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I'm 100% in agreement. I just think that it's just amazing how bad the Democrats want this to go to that level, to shut down our cities and not have electricity, or to not to.
Well, if you noticed, I haven't heard President Trump once mention the Keystone Pipeline from Canada. He's not even interested in that. It looks like right now because what this has to do with, a lot of it is getting industry back here. He wants to use American oil and natural gas, not bring it down from Canada. 20% of American cars are manufactured in Canada. He wants that done here.
Well, can I ask you a question? How prepared are we to transition from, I know the refineries have been cut back and the coal industry has been, coal-fired plants and things like that. It seems like, I don't know what the timeline is for us to get those things back up and running.
Well, I don't know that they're not running. I don't believe anything I hear in the media. President Trump's not going to do anything that's going to slow down energy. Don't worry about it. I trust Trump. Trump knows what he's doing. He knows more about this than you and me combined.
Yeah, I totally get it. I just think we need to be up and running for food production and all kinds
we
of
are
other
up
things.
and
It just
running.
seems like
We're not going to even we're not even going to feel this, because you know what's going to happen is Canada is going to cave. They're not able to afford to do this, and Trudeau may want to go down with the ship because he's been pushed out, and his ego. You know, Trudeau is a spoiled trust fund baby. He's only prime minister because his daddy was back when Clinton was president. He's always gotten his way, and there's a lot of wah going on here. But there's going to be a lot of pressure put on Trudeau to settle this, because the Canadian economy will collapse quickly. Their dollar is already dropping with just the talk of it. This doesn't even go into effect until next month. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. All right, appreciate it. Thomas Jefferson from Georgia. All right, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara. How
Hey,
are
Barbara.
you this morning? Thank
Good.
you for being a voice of reason.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Thank you. Because, yes, I mean, you know, the first thing the liberals do is push the panic button about these tariffs. Well, here's what you don't know, a lot of your audience doesn't know. Canada has been charging us tariffs for decades, and they have gotten nothing from us. We have given them nothing. Canada doesn't even support its own share of NATO, and they're in NATO. We even take care of them if they're attacked or something.
Exactly.
Hey, they need to pay their fair share. Their fair share. You know, that's what liberals love, that fair share. Well, here's what's about to happen. We're not going to feel any kind of pain from anything because they are such a small part of what we do. And like you said, Brian, why haven't they closed that border? Not only closing the border, what about all the fentanyl, meth labs? The meth labs that are in the woods there.
Yep.
They could find them. They could destroy them. They haven't done it.
Canada is
so
filled.
The Chinese are sending it in.
Canada is filled with drug labs in the wilderness of Canada, and the border between the United States and Canada is completely unfortified. You can just walk across.
Yep.
You know, and you know, I'm.
Yep.
But
and
but
they haven't
nothing.
done anything. I think they're getting paid, Brian. I think they're being paid for it. I think the Chinese are paying them.
Well, I believe
do it.
that Canada, you know, Trudeau and Trump are going to talk today. I believe Canada will cave quickly. Their economy couldn't handle a day of this.
Well,
Couldn't.
I'm not concerned about what happens with Canada. You're right. They might cave today, tomorrow, whatever. But I'm saying this, and I'm saying it because of the liberal media and how conservatives on the radio. I'm going to be busy today correcting these people. They're pushing the panic button for what is not going to be a panic. Trump is going to win this. We elected him. Let him do his job.
That's
Look
right.
at how Pete Hegseth and Sean Duffy jumped on it. He's
That's right.
on it. So let him do it. So that's all.
All
Have
right.
a great day.
All right, Barbara from Baltimore. Great call. Yeah, you know, that's the way it is. Canada, Trudeau will not want to settle this. He's on his way out. He figures he's got nothing to lose, okay? And he's ticked off, and he's a spoiled baby. But the power brokers, the rich guys in Canada are going to put pressure on him to stop this before it begins, because the Canadian economy is like a little tiny economy. They only seem so important because they're on America's coattails. Now, I want to remind you guys that if you'd like to support the program and get a great night's sleep, there's no better way to do that than go to mypillow.com. You know, of course, great pillows, sheets, towels, slippers, everything there. But it's free shipping on all orders at mypillow.com right now with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Free shipping on all orders, no matter how small, no matter how large. You could order a pair of the MyPillow socks, free shipping. Okay? You'll see this at checkout. Okay? It's not listed on the website. It's kind of a secret sale. So go to mypillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for free shipping on all orders, no matter how small or large at mypillow.com. 1 hour down, 2 to go. Call us on hold, stand by. It's a Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian, back right after this. Oh, this is great, guys. This is absolutely spectacular. If you are new, make sure that you subscribe, all right? And if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video, and sharing on your socials if you don't mind. Oh, it's wonderful. I got some other things I'm going to get into as the show goes on in the next hour, because I want to hear your thoughts on some other things as well. If you'd like to call in, if you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll free, and it is pinned in the live chat. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you are listening. We'll be back on the radio in about 90 seconds, and we'll take some calls. And we got to get into some other topics too, but this, the trade wars, that's where it's at, because we are winning it. We are winning it, and it's not even a worry. No one should worry. The media is going to try to scare everybody, because the media are the hate America first crowd. They don't want the United States winning. All their, these Operation Mockingbird people on television, they're in bed with all the corrupt politicians and bureaucracy that are stealing money through all of this. Okay, 45 seconds. Oh, isn't it great? Is anyone sick of winning yet? I'm not sick of winning. Are you sick of winning? Okay, here we go. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. If you're on hold, stand by. We got a lot to cover, and we're not done talking about the trade wars or the tariff wars, whatever they'll be, whatever history. This war is going to be the fastest war ever. But there's some other things, too, I want to get your thoughts on in the listening audience. And our number, by the way, is toll-free, no matter where you're listening, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to talk about the lady helicopter pilot and the D.C. crash from the Black Hawk helicopter. There's a few things about this that have got to be talked about, and I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. So we got the name of the lady Black Hawk pilot helicopter that was flying the Black Hawk and flew it right into the civilian jet, and which killed all those people. We learned some things which were very disturbing. Now, first off, this is one I want to throw out several questions to you involving, and you're welcome to call in about the trade wars. I'm not done with that either, but I want to get this out because it's important. I've seen the latest videos they have of the Black Hawk crash in D.C. Does that crash look like it was an accident, or does it look like the Black Hawk deliberately flew into that aircraft? It looks like it was deliberate to me. I don't know how that could be an accident. So we've been waiting for days and days to get the names of the lady pilot, and apparently, I did not know this, but the military families can withhold the name of their relative. That's some military regulation. I've never seen it used before, but they were using it. So then over the weekend, they released the name of the lady Black Hawk pilot, and we learned two things about her. One, she spent 2 years as an aide to Joe Biden at the White House, which is crazy. And I'd like to know how you get that. Is that just something you're randomly assigned, or is that something you get because of connections? I don't know. But she was an aide at the Biden White House for a couple of years. And then the other thing that's incredibly disturbing is that since between the time of the crash and her name being released, her entire social media was scrubbed by someone. We don't know who. So we got her name, but we don't know anything about her other than name, rank, serial number, and she was an aide at the Biden White House for a couple of years. What are they hiding here? So what are they hiding? Does it look deliberate to you? What happened? I mean, why would, usually the scrubbing of social media, that's done when you have somebody that's a terrorist or a mass shooting event or something like that. They might do some scrubbing of the social media. Why would they have scrubbed her social media? I find that insanely disturbing, and the media are not even interested in finding the answers out to any of these things. They've really moved on from that story. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. It is Monday, February 3rd. I'm Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show. To our phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
The first thing is I listened to your podcast over the weekend, your shows, and I was not aware that basically now I see what President Trump said they should become our 51st state.
Canada.
Because they basically can't survive without us. We're giving them all the billions and billions of dollars, and their economy is nothing without us. So typically, when you hear a Republican that goes against President Trump or a Democrat, it's the opposite's going to happen. There's nothing going to be no big problem with the economy. Our economy is strong. That's ridiculous, So
yeah.
Canada better shape up and figure this out quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. It's insane what's going on here. I mean, Americans, I believe Americans are the hardest working people in the world. And we're working so hard to support Mexico, Canada, the EU, Ukraine. Enough.
Enough is and now with Musk in there, we're watching where the money's going.
Mm-hmm.
We're finally going to get some ease on our taxes.
That's right.
And because now, if we stop paying everybody, maybe we can lower the taxes to
That's
Americans.
Right. All right, Doug. Well, it's good to you made some good points, Doug. I appreciate the call, man. Take care. Yeah, Doug made some very good points. Yeah, I mean, this is enough. Why do they think we are obligated to support them? I guess they know no other way. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Randy from South Mississippi.
Hey, Randy. What's on your mind?
Hey, real quick again, thank you for your show, and I love the backdrop you have going on your screen now, where you can play videos and stuff. Just real quick comment. I'm not going to get into the whole tariffs thing. We already know what's going on with that. But when I was on the interweb this weekend, when they come out with the Black Hawk, the female pilot who was a Joe Biden flunky, whatever she was, but they showed her income and stated that she owned a $500 million home.
I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I would have to go back and get it.
No. You gotta be very careful. It's what I was talking about on Friday. A lot people put out a lot of garbage about things to try to get you to talk about them, so you lose credibility. A $500 million home. What does she live in? Mar-a-Lago, a castle? That doesn't even make sense.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, Brian. I'm so sorry. $500,000 home. I had to rephrase that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, a half. It depends on where the house is, but in Florida, $500,000 is like a 2 or 3 bedroom little shack. So it depends on where the house is. So I wouldn't put too much into that.
They
it's 500 million.
I know. I do apologize for that, but yeah, it was a $500,000 home. But they pulled up her pay, her rank, and the property that allegedly she owns. So
well, when her family really, we got to really stick with what we know to be factual. Her family,
right.
When your family, her family put out a statement. and they said, this is a little bit of paraphrasing, but I did read the statement, but they referred to her being like a great daughter and all this stuff, and partner. And partner, that's a vague term, so she may have a partner. Now listen, and the way that these Gen Z and millennials are, partner could be a guy that she's shacking up with, she's not married to. Okay, so I'm not going to report anything until we know. But partner is an odd thing to call someone like that. So I don't know why they said partner. So she might, she was a captain in the Army. I don't know what they earn, but if she's got a partner, she's got 2 incomes, $500,000 a house. That's not that big of a deal. Not today.
Right. Well, going back to what you said about real quick before you answered my call was, yes, it does look like that Black Hawk flew straight into that plane, and it's all over that she only had less than 500 hours of flight training. So I mean that's kind of lunacy flying over. I don't think the
crash had anything to do with her number of hours in the air. I don't know what.
They're talking about her flying over. They're talking about her flying over at night, doing training at night over the busiest.
But she had a senior pilot with her. That was her instructor, who's supposed to be able to take control at any time if there's a problem. Right. So but she seemed to be pretty much in control. She flew directly straight into that at a high speed into that jet. She hit a moving target. I mean, come on. Listen, they scrubbed her social media before they released her name, the family.
Absolutely.
So what are they hiding? What did they scrub from this Biden age social media? That is a very fair question, and I shouldn't have to ask that question. The media should have already answered it for us.
Right. Well, they said on Fox News this morning that she was Joe Biden's social media aide. They scrubbed it because speculation. They didn't know if there was intent in there or how she was being radicalized or something like that. But it's all speculation.
Well, I appreciate. Now, there's a lot of speculation, but there's questions we're asking. And she was an aide at the Biden White House, an aide to Biden for a couple of years. So I'd like to know what the process is to get some special cushy job like that. Is that something you just randomly get assigned, or do you have to have connections? Is Trump derangement syndrome in play? These are legitimate questions to ask. Especially, we got 3 pieces of information about the Lady Black Hawk pilot over the weekend. 1, we got her name. 2, she spent a couple of years as an aide to Biden at the White House. And 3, before the family would allow her name to be released, they scrubbed all of her social media. So they're hiding something. Why else would they scrub the social media? I've had people I know and family who have passed, and the social media is where people go to remember and memorialize people. Eventually, it gets taken down sometimes years later. And by the way, how'd they even get access to it? There's been a lot of people that have had problems when their loved ones pass away. They can't access their social media to take it down, even years later. There's been conflict. So someone was able to access, I'm assuming she had her cell phone with her when the helicopter went down. So who had all her passwords to scrub all of her social media, and what are they hiding? Our number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our first break of the second hour and be right back.
We may have...
Just over a minute, we'll be back live. One minute, we'll be back. I'll take some more calls, and we'll hear from the president himself when he landed in D.C. about the trade wars. But these questions about the lady pilot are pretty big. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. My name's Brian. I broadcast on a whole bunch of FM radio stations in the morning, and I also live stream here on YouTube and a bunch of other platforms when I'm on the radio. So the callers you're hearing, some of them are from the radio, some are from YouTube, some are from other streaming things. And if you're watching on YouTube and you want to call in, it's toll-free no matter where you're located. The number's pinned in the live chat, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. 10 seconds. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll take a couple more calls before I bring up anything new. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Joanne from Tamarack, Florida.
Hey, Joanne.
I am wondering, good morning. You said that her social media was scrubbed, but wouldn't the president and Pete Hegseth, they would know who was flying that helicopter, the name, and wouldn't they have been able to see her social media before it was scrubbed?
Yes, I'm sure they did. I'm sure the Army investigators and the NTSB did. They knew. It was just withheld from the public because the family has that right. And right. I'm wondering,
they have more information.
Well, they have it all, but I'm wondering if there's whoever scrubbed her social media may have been trying to cover something up about that. Obviously, they were hiding something about her. Why would they not want the world to be, to know her and everything? And so, they could be.
Yeah, if it was an innocent information on there, why would you scrub it? There's got to be something on there.
Well,
that's not good.
Scrubbing her social media could be a federal crime, trying to destroy evidence.
Well, I also would like to make a comment concerning this trade war. I know we're using the word war. It was before my time. I am old, but it was before my time. But I think that Americans ought to suck it up. During World War II, we had a lot of rationing. We couldn't get sugar and gasoline and nylon and etc. So if we have to pay or make a little concession to fortify our country, suck it up, people, and do the right thing.
Yeah.
So I have total trust in Trump. I think he knows what he's doing, and it's good for our country. And I think what he's doing is making our people understand who we are. We are not a bunch of flunkies. We are a powerful country, and we've been denied that title for too long.
Yeah.
And that's what I've got to say.
Well, I appreciate the call. Great call. All right. Take care. I appreciate it. If you're on hold, hang in there. So President Trump landed in Washington. He was here in Florida at Mar-a-Lago all weekend. And he had a bit of a press conference when he landed at, I still call it Andrews Air Force Base. I can't get into this Joint Base Andrews thing. When I was growing up, it was Andrews Air Force Base, not Joint Base Andrews. But I guess, combining the bases probably makes sense, government efficiency and all. But this is President Trump on the tarmac when he landed in D.C. talking about the trade war with Canada.
We may have short-term a little pain, and people understand that. But long-term, the United States has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world. We have deficits with almost every country. Not every country, but almost. And we're going to change it. It's been unfair. That's why we owe $36 trillion. I'm speaking with Prime Minister Trudeau tomorrow morning, and I'm also speaking with Mexico tomorrow morning. And I don't expect anything very dramatic. We put tariffs on. They owe us a lot of money, and I'm sure they're going to pay. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm products. They take almost nothing. And we take everything from them. Millions of cars, tremendous amounts of food and farm products. So the UK is way out of line, and we'll see the UK, but European Union is really out of line. UK is out of line, but I'm sure that one, I think that one can be worked out. But the European Union it's an atrocity, what they've done. Secretary of State Rubio is in Panama right now, and we're talking about the Panama Canal. What they've done is terrible. They violated the agreement. They're not allowed to violate the agreement. China's running the Panama Canal. That was not given to China. That was given to Panama foolishly. But they violated the agreement, and we're going to take it back, or something very powerful is going to happen. USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out, and then we'll make a decision.
Okay, so, I mean, a lot of things were said there by President Trump. But, what he was talking about with the Panama Canal, okay, just to clarify a little bit, I mean, Marco Rubio did amazing stuff at the Panama Canal, but Panama could be trying to pull a fast one here, because what the Panamanian president actually said, they're not kicking China out. They're not going to renew their agreement they have with the CCP to run the canal. Well, I don't know when that agreement's up. Do you? Is it during Trump's term or the next term? Remember when Trump vowed to, like other Republicans, like George W. Bush, who didn't do it, move the embassy, the U.S. embassy in Israel, to the capital, Jerusalem, from Tel Aviv. And when he ordered them to do it, they came to him and said, okay, here's the plan, our construction plans to build the embassy. It was going to take like 5 or 10 years. He wouldn't be president anymore. And in that time, they would cancel it. The next president would cancel. It wouldn't happen. So he said no. So he had the ambassador find some office space that was already available and rent it. Or maybe they bought it, but they picked the office space that already existed, and that was the embassy. They were trying to pull a fast one by not getting him to move the embassy. So Panama may be trying to do something similar to that by saying, well, we're not going to renew the deal with China. The deal is still in effect, and I have not seen any stories tell us when it expires. So with that being said, Trump is still talking firm about actually taking it. And you know what? He's probably going to, no matter what happens. He wants to take back control of it and not give it back. That area, the Panama Canal, is so important. First of all, the Panama Canal is in a lot of trouble in that there's a few things in play at the Panama Canal. They have a shortage. There's the water source for the canal. There's a drought going on, and Panama. Can you believe this? They give China control of the canal. They want the United States to send the Army Corps of Engineers to fix this, while they give the canal to China. Well, that's not going to happen. So they need us to fix the water source to the canal. The level is so low in the Panama Canal that bigger ships can't go through it fully loaded now. They have to go through with smaller loads. It's not deep enough. Also, there's 2 competitors for the canal. I can't remember what the country is now. I want to say Honduras. Honduras is working with China to build a new canal through there that would be wider and deeper for the big super ships that exist now, that didn't exist when the Panama Canal was built over 100 years ago. Trump will stop that deal. And also, north of the canal in Mexico, there's a train line that's running across that is being added to compete with the canal. So the Panama Canal, without U.S. help, is going to become outdated, and this competition is going to come up, and it's also going to become unusable with this water source. So he doesn't trust Panama to say, well, we're not going to renew it. Well, he may not be president when it comes up for renewal, and then they'll renew it because he's not around. So he's going to take it. And Nicaragua, by the way, someone just told me in our live chat, is where the new canal is going to be built by the CCP. Oh, my goodness. Trump will stop that. Don't worry. That's where the Monroe Doctrine comes in. Our number is 1-888-465-2631. Callers on hold, stand by. I want to talk about the free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. You know, the doorbell camera will change your life. It's obviously a great part of your security system. You know, you get a notification on your cell phone every time there's movement at your door. But it's also a great convenience. Whenever you get DoorDash or Instacart or anything coming to your house, you get a notification. You can see them out there. It's nice to have. You know, Amazon comes. You know who it is. You know, or me, I got all these solicitors that are always knocking on the door, and they try to trick you with a little light knock so you think it's a family member or something. And I can always see it's a solicitor. And you can get a doorbell camera from Sloman's for free that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Sloman's is also going to give you an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts, that's for your doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, and a backup battery. Plus, they're going to give you a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give Sloman's a call. It's an easy number to remember. 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. Get your free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. 1-800-ALARM-ME. All right, we're at the halfway point. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
They don't take our far.
Okay. I've got so much to cover. I'm just deciding where to go when we get back. Okay. We'll be back in 1 minute, live on the air. Stand by. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And everyone else, if you could please like the video and share the video on all your socials, that'd be great too. We'll be back in 1 minute. $30 seconds. Wow, we just passed the halfway mark. The show is flying by. $20 seconds. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat. If you're on hold, hang in there. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. We've been talking, so much going on. The trade wars with Canada and Mexico, we've talked about a lot, and also trying to get to the bottom. What are they hiding about the lady pilot on the Black Hawk? But Elon Musk at Doge is on fire. Okay, over the weekend. There's been so much happening with Doge. You know, Elon Musk just got access to the entire payment system of the United States Treasury Department. And there's an amazing article I'm going to go through on this with you, but here that goes through the details, because this came down like a movie scene, because the bureaucrats were trying to keep Elon away from getting access to that. You know, you hear a lot of misinformation out there. Every time there's an election, Democrats, you know, they use their fear tactics with Social Security in particular, and Medicare and Medicaid, right? And you hear them say all the time, oh, you know, if this Republican wins, it's the same thing, you know, that old playbook that Rush used to talk about. If fill in the blank Republican wins, your Social Security is going to dry up because they're going to take money out of the Social Security lockbox. How many times have you heard about the Social Security lockbox? There's no Social Security lockbox. All the money that is paid for everything by the U.S. government, from foreign aid to Social Security and everything is paid by the United States Treasury Department. And Elon Musk is the first person maybe ever outside of this inside group of people who have gotten access to this. And I'm here to tell you, he's being the richest man in the world, running incredible companies. You know, he has people that work for him that can go through that payment system and find out who's getting the money. Can you imagine? Can you imagine who's getting the money? I wonder how many people are getting checks that are dead or never existed. But every crooked deal that's going on, the payments have to go through the United States Treasury Department's payment system. And Elon Musk now has access to that system. And they fought to keep him from getting it. And this is amazing. There was an article yesterday in multiple publications, and it really didn't get a lot of talk in the news, and it's huge. Here's the headline: Fear grips D.C. as Musk gains access to sensitive Treasury Department payment system that controls $5 trillion. So as an example, Biden makes some crooked deal, his brother gets paid, the check has to come from the Treasury Department. So listen to this. Let me go through the article. Fear gripped Washington yesterday morning as it emerged Elon Musk had gained access to the Treasury Department's payment system. Now, this is the best way to describe what this means is this. They just got a hold of the mob boss's books. Having access to the Treasury Department payment system is like having access to Al Capone's accountant, El Chapo's accountant, the cartels down there, their accountants. Okay? It's a big deal. The Treasury Department payment system is run. This is what they say in the article. This is a joke. What is this, a comic book I'm reading or a newspaper? The Treasury Department payment system is run by non-political career civil servants. Really? You really think all these corrupt D.C. insiders are letting non-political career civil servants that are nonpartisan run the payment system for the Treasury Department where they steal all the money? I would not be surprised if this is a job that's like you inherit. I mean, how do you get the job of running the Treasury Department payment system? How do you even get in that team that does it? It's probably a job that's passed down from father to son, right? Their great-granddaddies probably had this job under Teddy Roosevelt. For them to write that this is some nonpartisan thing is such a joke. The Treasury Department's payment system is run by non-political career civil servants and controls trillions of dollars of government funds that go to programs like Social Security and Medicare. Believe me, that's not what Elon wants to look at. Any interruption in his operation would spark widespread economic failure. The Treasury Secretary gave Elon's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, the green light to have full access to the payment system late on Friday, although the world did not know this until yesterday morning. It was not immediately clear why Musk wants to gain access to the system, which handles around $5 trillion annually. But it could provide the Trump administration another means to target wasteful spending. That's because that's where all the checks are sent out from. Now listen to this. This was what happened, what's been going on with Elon Musk and Doge and the Treasury Department is insane. Listen to this. This comes after a standoff earlier this week with a top Treasury official, David Lebrick, who was in charge of the Treasury Department payment system through Donald Trump's first term and during Biden's tenure. The Treasury official had resisted Elon Musk's attempts to access the system. He was physically stopping Elon from accessing the system. He was freaked out. Well, probably because they got caught. He was abruptly placed on leave before announcing his retirement on Friday. Democrats and the liberal press erupted over Musk's move, with the likes of Elizabeth Warren calling for Congress to investigate Musk's new power. And Congresswoman Jayapal saying the ordeal reeks of corruption. Really, investigating the corruption is now corrupt? Allies of Musk who were granted access were reportedly made employees of the Treasury Department and were greenlit through government background checks. They've also obtained the necessary security clearances, according to the New York Times. So, Elon Musk, because of SpaceX, a lot of people that work for him have top-level security clearances already because of SpaceX. Okay, so don't let this make you nervous. So far, these people have not gotten to work and no government payments have been shut off, according to sources. He's not shutting off payments to your Social Security or your Medicare or your Medicaid. They want to find out all the crooked, not just government waste, but the crooked deals, because the payments all go through there. Elon Musk found out during this that the staff at the Treasury, and it's a very long article, but which I've read a few times because it's so juicy, so I'll just tell you about it. But Elon Musk found out when he got to the department and got control of the system, he found out this, that the Treasury Department payment system people, their staff, have never, and I'm not talking about the current staff, I'm talking about the staff that have controlled the Treasury Department payment system forever, not one time in their history have they refused to make a payment, to pay out, to write a check. They have not refused to send out a single check, not once, in the whole history of the Treasury Department payment system. Now, they told Elon Musk they were instructed not to do that they were instructed not to refuse to send out a payment. Well, that sounds like they're trying to pass the buck. Can you imagine? They've never refused to send out a payment. Nothing came across their desk that was questionable. And you know there's a lot of famous names that come through there from time to time. This is Huge. And this right here is the beginning of the end for corrupt Washington, D.C. This is so big. When Elon Musk has his forensic accounting Doge team go through the payments that have been made from the Treasury Department Payment Center, it is going to turn our world upside down. Believe me, there's a lot of scared people right now. That's why Elon Musk is living at the White House and sleeping in the Lincoln bedroom. That's the only place that's probably safe in the White House for him. This is amazing. I cannot wait for Elon Musk to start releasing this information. And, you know, when he rescues the astronauts that Biden stranded up there on the space station, you know, the lady astronaut said she cannot even go to the bathroom now, that her bodily functions are shutting down. You know, when Elon Musk rescues them, and there's going to be a big celebration for that. He was going to be celebrated. But when he releases the dirt on who they're sending checks to, and wait until he tells us who he stopped, because what he's going to do is he'll tell Trump what's going on, and Trump will order it, and the Treasury Secretary, they're going to start stopping payments for the first time to people. And when they come out and tell us who they stopped sending checks to and who they have been sending checks to out of that department, it's going to freak people out. And you know what? People are going to be pretty angry, and they should. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our last break of the second hour. Oh, this is beautiful. I want to remind everyone that MyPillow, a great special going on right now with our promo code Kane. Now, there's huge discounts going on site-wide on the pillows, the towels, the sheets, the mattresses, the mega sales going on. Okay, the crosses, the slippers, the bathrobes, huge sales with our promo code Kane at checkout. But now, for a limited time, and this will end without notice, it's free shipping site-wide on all orders, no matter how small or large. We've been telling you for a while it's been free shipping on orders over $75. That is no longer the case. It is free shipping on all orders with our promo code Kane at checkout. Now, you're not going to see this advertised on the site. It's kind of like a secret sale. But free shipping site-wide, no matter how large or small the order. And as I said earlier, you could order a pair of the MyPillow socks, just a pair of the MyPillow socks, free shipping. So that's amazing. Take advantage of this now. Great place to do your Valentine's Day shopping as well. The robes, the slippers make great Valentine's Day gifts. So it's promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. Free shipping on all orders, no matter how small, no matter how large, at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back. We'll be back in 90 seconds, guys. If you're on hold, hang in there. All right, 30 seconds and we will be back. If you're new, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. If you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video and sharing it. I'll go to the calls when we get back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Good morning. Good morning, IB, Brian.
Hey, IB.
Just to expand on what I said the other day about the pilot, either you want to die or you don't want to die, my next thought is the person is obviously maybe disgruntled in some kind of way. And if they really are DEI, and like I said, we all know how Democrats are very emotional, and that's why you always get these guys on the phone with you always freaking out. They can't be I think that person... the senior pilot, I think maybe he was probably working on a plan, looking down maybe, and the person took the opportunity to run into that plane. Like I said, the person probably went rogue. As for the Treasury,
slow down before
Obama
you get to slow down a minute here. I'll let you get to the Treasury in a minute. I won't be as short as I normally are with you, IB, because you're very relevant today. Now, the pilot, for those that are just tuning in, over the weekend we got information on the lady pilot. We got her name. We found out that she spent 2 years around about as an aide to Biden at the White House. And we found out that someone, we don't know who, before her name was released, scrubbed her entire social media. So we learned a lot of stuff that's very disturbing about her. Okay, so what do you think they're hiding about the pilot? Or why would they scrub her social media?
Anything connected with the DEI and Biden obviously goes back to Obama. Okay, let's not forget about the Christmas, how they prance around and they had the breasts out on the lawn of the White House. Let's not forget their mentality. I believe this person was very emotional, and they're somehow tied to the social media crap. I think something is going on in that person's life where they felt that they were maybe cornered, and the only way out was death. And this is my opinion, because why would someone knows the routine, know they're in the
So what are you saying?
There,
are you suggesting like Trump derangement syndrome was the cause of the crash?
I'm not saying that specifically. What I'm saying is that person is disturbed in their life. Whatever's going on in that person's life, they decided they didn't want to have any more of it and decided to end their life. I believe the co-pilot, even though the senior pilot wasn't paying attention, maybe they were looking at schematics or whatever. Maybe he was looking down at something, and the person took the opportunity, like I say, and went rogue. Now, the Treasury, there's two people. One is a Nigerian black guy that was under Obama's tenure. This guy, their job is to
slow down. A Nigerian black man? What's the?
That's funny. I know.
Is there another kind of Nigerian?
I know, that's funny.
And hey, when you say that's like saying Nigerian black man is like saying Jewish rabbi. All rabbis are Jews.
No, but I did. But I did meet a black Russian, a guy from Russia. He was black and he spoke Russian. So
okay.
When I say that, I mean Nigerians are very cunning. These people are sneaky. This guy his job is to hit.
Sounds like you got a little racism going on, IB. You got a beef with Nigerians?
In a way, I'm saying they are more conniving when it comes to telephone scams, even more so than the Indians. This guy is in control of the Treasury, and his job is to hit yes. These guys are now going to scurry. They're going to leave town because that money. Hey, by the way, that lady Bishop got $53 million. All they do is hit yes all day, no matter if it's fraudulent, no matter if it's a terrorist. Their job is to hit yes. That's all they do. That lady got $53 million to house illegals. That same Bishop lady was talking crap 2 weeks ago about Trump. Could you believe that? When people find out that they are told to say yes to anyone and anything for that money to keep going out, when the American people find out, I mean, I'm talking about hitting the roof. Live it. We're on
Well,
the
you know,
surface
to
of it
cut
right
the,
now.
you know, are there any other ethnic groups that you want to say something racist against before I respond? Because you hit two. You hit the Nigerians and the Indians.
Listen, I apologize for that. I didn't mean it in that way, but I'm black. I apologize for that. What I'm saying is,
you're black.
Nigerians are very,
come on,
very,
IB, you're black.
They're smart. That's funny. They're smart.
No, you're black?
Cunning when it comes to scamming. Of course I am.
What do you mean? Of course, I can't see you.
Well, I told you that before.
Oh,
I already mentioned it on your weekend.
Oh,
shows,
so
on your-
IB?
on your- I told you
I thought IB stood for Broward. It stands for black.
I told you, you know what IB meant because you caught me saying it one time. I'll tell you, it's island boy. IB means island boy.
Oh, you're from an island.
Sounds crazy from a. Well, it's a part of my history.
I see.
Two islands is a part of my history, but I'm also an American citizen. I'm an American citizen.
I had no idea you were
I
black.
grew up on two different islands.
You don't sound black.
Yeah, because
you sound white.
Where I'm from, they teach you. Where I'm from, they teach you English and proper grammar and how to do your ABCs. Unlike in America, where people can't read and write. You understand? I see adults write like scribble scratch, but the DEI, they're hiding something because it's going to hit the Obama legacy. I should say Biden legacy, because they're hiding it for that reason. We still don't know nothing about the two shooters. They're supposed to be transparent, but you know what? They have the father of AI. Elon Musk has the key, the back door, the firewall to any computer system in the world. They can't hide and they can't run.
Elon Musk, when getting control and access to the Treasury Department payment system, was not an easy task, right? The guy was obstructing it, so they got rid of him. But, you know, what they've done, this is the way I talked about this on my podcast over the weekend. Remember the movie The Untouchables with Kevin Costner and Sean Connery?
I love it.
That's one of my favorite movies.
I love it.
That's one of my favorite movies. One of the big scenes in the movie is they're on the U.S.-Canadian border with the Canadian Mounties, and they're trying to capture Al Capone's accountant, and because he's got the accounting books. They get Al Capone's accountant with the books. And when they have his books, they got him. Elon Musk getting a hold of the Treasury Department payment system is the equivalent of getting Al Capone's accountants with the books in hand. Because every payment goes through that payment system. And when Elon starts going through that with his top-level forensic accountants that work for him at Tesla and SpaceX, that's amazing to get that.
What you just said with the top level forensic accountants and the people with the computer, he actually moved couches into the office space so they can rotate and work 24/7. They're not going to stop. So you got the best computer minds. The best computer minds right now is digging into everything. No IP address can be hidden, and they're not going to be able to scrub things like Hillary Clinton did. These guys are around the clock, sleeping in the office, digging in with all their might into everything that's been going on before anything else is scrubbed. It will be saved. It's on a hard drive somewhere. And like I say, they're dealing
our hard drive. The payments are going out all the time. Now I know there's a lot of payments going out, so it might take some time to nail them down. And they probably all got all kinds of fake companies and LLCs but I don't think so. I think these people are so arrogant that it goes directly to people by name because they never thought anybody would have access to what really is probably the most secure place in all the federal government, because the crooks in Washington don't want anyone to know where the money's going.
The riddle is this. Who tells the two guys, the Nigerian and the white guy, which I believe they have already fled town probably, who tells them to hit the button? We want to know how many people who and what organization consolidate with each other to then tell those guys to just keep hitting yes. That's all they do is sit there and hit yes.
So what islands, IB, what islands are you connected to?
The Turks and Caicos, the first home of Club Med, and the Bahamas, Nassau, Bahamas.
Okay, pretty cool. All right, take care, man. I appreciate the call. IB's been calling for a long time. Did anybody know he was black? Does he sound black? He does not sound black. All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. Oh, the Democrats gave us a great gift over the weekend. They made David Hogg, from the Parkland tragedy, the vice chair of the DNC, and he wants to abolish ICE, defund the police, and designate the NRA as a terrorist group. Are the DNC trying to help MAGA? Are they trying to help us? This is like the best thing that could have happened. I'm only sorry they didn't make him the chair, the senior chair. He's only the vice chair. David Hogg, this is perfect. It really shows you how out of touch with reality the Democrats are. They have no idea that this country has gone through a transformation. And David Hogg will help us in the midterms. As crazy as that may sound, he will help us in the midterms because he's a radical loon, and that's really not what they should be going for these days. If they want to win, I don't think they want to win. Now, I want to tell you that if you or someone you know or love is suffering from neuropathy, we got help for you here on the Steve Kane Show, and that's Lighthouse Medical. And all of the advertisers here on the Steve Kane Show, either Steve uses them, I use them, or we both use them. And oftentimes we find advertisers for the program because one of us will have a need. I needed tires that I could afford, so I found Friendly Tire as an example. Steve needed a roof, so we found Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. But Steve had neuropathy, and he had neuropathy and the symptoms so bad he couldn't get out of bed. And we had two things coming up. We had a personal appearance that we were going to do. The one that we did at the mall where they called the cops on us because we were MAGA, crazy. And then we had it was 2 cruises. Actually, it might be 3 cruises ago now. 2 or 3 cruises ago, we had our cruise coming up. And Steve's like, I can't get out of the house. I don't know how I'm going to go to this appearance. I don't know how I'm going to go to the cruise. And I found Lighthouse Medical. And Steve went over there, and Lighthouse Medical has a treatment for neuropathy that works. It rids Steve of all of his neuropathy symptoms. And that treatment was now 2.5 years ago. They have a treatment that not only works, but it lasts. Over 2.5 years have passed, and Steve's neuropathy symptoms have not returned. And I know a lot of you have gone to Lighthouse Medical too, because I meet you guys, some on our cruise. There were some of you at Wings Plus a couple weeks ago on Inauguration Day. Lighthouse Medical can help you rid you of neuropathy no matter where you're located. If you can't make it into the office and you're in another part of town, the state, or even another part of the country, they can help you. I'm going to give you the number. When you call, make sure you tell Lighthouse Medical you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation, which is only for our listeners. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Give them a call. Neuropathy's tough. It'll be gone. They can help you. They helped Steve, and it's been 2.5 years. It hasn't returned. They'll help you too. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. 2 hours down already. 1 to go. We'll take our break for the top and be back. Yeah, it's Brian. Yeah. What's going on? No, I do. Man, I'm going to put you on hold. We'll be back in a little more than 2 minutes. All right, hold on. If you're on hold, hang in there. Yeah, that's Steve. I keep it short because you guys can hear my side of the conversation, at least. So I keep it short. But we talked last night. Now, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you're just finding the stream, I host a live morning show on a whole bunch of FM radio stations, and when I'm on the radio, I live stream on YouTube and other places, and we're in a commercial break on the radio for the top of the hour, you know, traffic and everything, and weather and all of that. And we'll be back shortly. Did you all catch my vlog at Fort Lauderdale Beach over the weekend? You can hear him, but we're not going to have a conversation. About anything important. 1 minute. Oh, how exciting. The show has flown by today. Just flown by. About 30 seconds. Yeah, that's my favorite beach. My mom lives right down the street from there. I grew up going to that beach. Okay, about 10 seconds. We'll be back. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Steve joining us. Good morning, Steve. Steve, you with us? I know he's with us because I can hear him. Steve, we are back. All right, I guess I'm going to have to put him on hold, and we'll take a call. Steve, put the phone down. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mark from Delray.
Hey, Mark.
I'm calling in regard to the Panama Canal.
Yes.
I can tell you that there was an agreement signed in 2017 for the Silk Road Initiative, and it's also a maritime Silk Road, and it's good for 3 years, and it automatically renews unless one party cancels, so it's coming up again in 26.
That's too far away for Trump, I think, but I appreciate that info.
Okay, and they're all over Latin America, China.
Yeah, well, they won't be too long. The Monroe Doctrine is being enforced.
Well, that's good. I'm all for that, but I just wanted to let you know that 26 is within Trump's term.
Yeah, so I know, but it's too far out. All right, I appreciate the the call. All right, we're getting some good intel. All right, we'll try again. Steve, you back with us?
I certainly am.
Oh man,
Good morning.
What a great MAGA Monday morning it is.
Well, put a smile on my face. Take the lead.
Tiff, put a smile on your face. It should already be there. You should have a 4-year smile in place.
Well,
there's no need not to be smiling. I mean, Panama caved to Trump yesterday with Marco Rubio. Canada and Mexico are about to surrender in the trade war to the United States. I mean, things could not be going better than they are going. This is amazing what's going on. You know, what's come out about the economies of Canada and Mexico. Now when I talk about Mexico, I'm only talking about their legal products, okay? I'm not talking about their drugs or their human trafficking, which are their number one exports. The number one exports from Mexico are drugs and humans, right? And Trump's shutting that down. The humans already shut down, their slave trade, and the drugs have been slowed down tremendously because of the border. But of the legal products of Mexico, the legal exports, not the drugs, not the people, but the legal exports from Mexico, 84% of their legal exports are to the United States. That is only 2.5% of our economy. How are they when 80? And if you factor in the drugs and the humans, basically 100% of Mexican imports are to the United States. So how are they going to win a trade war? Then we find out that Canada, between 75 and 80% of their exports globally are to the United States. And that's only about 2.5 or 3% of our economy. So, and what we're learning is about one half of the entire, and I'm not an accountant or a math guy or anything, and I'm just following the news, okay? About half of the Canadian economy is 100% dependent on the United States. Their overall economy, and they're done. It's just a matter of time before they bend to Trump's will. I mean, we've won the trade war before it's even begun. This is an amazing thing that's going on. It couldn't be better, Steve. Are you smiling yet?
No, I'm not smiling yet. I'm focusing here, trying to get my head together.
Well, you better hurry because the show will be over in 53 minutes.
I don't know. I was watching television all weekend. It's bizarre. What's the latest with the plane crash?
Oh, well, that's the other one. Okay. Well, the plane. You're talking about the Army helicopter in D.C.
Well, there were two plane crashes.
Well, the one in Philadelphia, not much with that, but the one in D.C. we've got a lot of information that is opening up a lot of questions. Okay, so we got the identity of the lady helicopter pilot in the Army that crashed and killed all the people, right? That flew into the plane.
Oh, see, no, I didn't even get that up there.
Really? Oh, I'm surprised.
The lady flying the Army helicopter was a lady.
Well, there were two pilots. There was the instructor in the other one, and it was being flown by the lady. We got her name over the weekend. Remember, the family would not allow her name to be released, but we got some information about her when her name was released, and it's all disturbing, and it opens up a lot more questions, okay?
I'd be interested in that.
Well, first we found out for about 2 years, while in the Army, she was a White House aide to Joe Biden for 2 years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
those are her qualifications?
I guess. The other piece of information we got, because now remember, her name was not released because the military have a rule, which I don't think anyone ever knew about this, but families can have the Pentagon not release the name of their relative when they die. It's an honor that I guess they give the families. So the family would not allow her name to be released until over the weekend. The family, when they gave the okay to the Pentagon to release her name, we found out two things. One, she was a Biden aide at the White House for 2 years, which tells you, that opens up a lot of... How do you get that kind of gig, right? Do you have to be connected, or is that something you're randomly assigned? But here's the other thing we found out, and this is even more disturbing than being a Biden aide for 2 years. Between the time of the crash that she obviously is responsible for, because she was flying the helicopter she flew the helicopter directly into the civilian jet. Between the time of the crash and her name being released to the public over the weekend, her entire social media was scrubbed and erased by someone. We don't know who. So we have her name, but if you go online to try to find anything about her, it's all been wiped out. So we know nothing about her other than her name.
Bizarre.
Well, they're hiding something. They're hiding something. And the family released a very wordy statement about her, and they used a word that's vague. It could mean a couple of things. They talked about how she was a great daughter, a great this, a great that, and a wonderful partner. Now, partner, I'm a wonderful husband, right? I have a wonderful wife. Now, partner could mean she's shacking up with some guy she's not married to. But more common, it would refer to as a gay relationship, wouldn't it? Traditionally, but it could be a guy she shacked up with. Okay, we don't know. So we got a lot of questions. You look at the video, it looks like it was on purpose to me. I mean, maybe it wasn't, but flying higher than they're supposed to, at a high rate of speed, right into it. Her social media was scrubbed before we knew her name, so nobody can get any background on her. And we find out she was a Biden aide for 2 years. And she looked to love that job as a Biden aide because there's a photograph of her at a ceremony, and she looks very happy with all these Democrats. So it asked, was this crash an accident or Trump derangement syndrome? We don't know. But the scrubbing of the social media, that's hiding something. There's no.
When I went to bed last night, which was after the Mark Levin show, it did not come out that the pilot was female.
Oh, no. We knew she was female last week. We didn't get her name until over the weekend. Well, Mark Levin records his show. So he may, at the time he recorded the show, he may not have known what her name was. Her name's not important.
Well, I mean, other than it gives an indication of, we're speculating about what her connection to the White House is.
And why would they scrub her social media? That is very unusual. They're hiding something from her social media. There's something on her social media they don't want us to know about. And, scrubbing of social media typically only happens if you've got like a terrorist or a mass shooter or something. They'll take their social media down and scrub everything for whatever, whatever. But and I'd like to know who did it, because they didn't, there was a reason they did it. And it's possible that if it depends on who did it, it's possible someone may have obstructed justice and committed crimes. Maybe it's possible they're trying to hide a possible motive, which would be evidence. It's possible. We don't know, because they scrubbed it. It's highly unusual. And who had access to it? I'm sure she had her phone in her pocket when she died in the crash. So who had access to her social media? Did the family not want to release her name until the social media was scrubbed? There's a lot of questions here, and it doesn't look good.
More questions than answers.
Well, listen, I'll give out if anybody has any speculation. Do you think they're hiding something? I've seen that video many times. It does not look like an accident. It may be an accident. It doesn't look like an accident to me. Could be, but I don't know. Does it look like an accident? Are they hiding something? This is very unusual to scrub the social media like this. Very unusual. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, and I'll pick you up on the other side of the break. If you're on hold, hang in there. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Oh, we got some breaking news that I'm going to get to when we get back. Oh. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, we'll be back on the radio. 1 minute. We'll be back. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve, you back with us?
I am here.
Oh, man. Okay, I got some news that I'm going to get to in just a moment, which is emphasis on new and breaking that I'm going to get to in a minute. But do you want to take any calls before we move on?
Sure.
Okay, if I lose you, I'll call you back during the break. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yep. Turn off the radio in the background.
No, there we go. How's that? That's not the radio. That's you.
Okay.
It's Frenchie from Stewart.
Hey, Frenchie.
Hey, I got something on that plane crash in D.C.
Yeah.
What if the other two guys weren't alive anymore, and she was in total control of that helicopter?
That's a possibility. You know, I mean, that helicopter, I didn't see it didn't look like the instructor tried to take control of it from her, did it?
Right. No, I think it flew directly into the plane. And I said, well, what if she killed the other two guys and then she's got control of the helm?
Well, that one, if that's true, we should learn that soon. I mean, you know.
Because if they find the two bodies, if they can, find the two pilots.
No, they were all strapped in. They said that everyone was strapped in the helicopter at the bottom of the Potomac.
Oh, well, they should be able to find out if they were shot.
Yeah.
That's what I kept thinking. I goes, well, what if, if the other two weren't alive and she was the only one?
Well, there's no doubt they're hiding something, right? To scrub the social media before they would allow the name to be released.
Yeah, that helicopter flew directly into that plane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Well, no, you had something that was good. No, you had something that was very, very good, and I no doubt about that. All right. Let's go. Let's take another call, Steve, before I get into the news. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hi, Steve. How are you today? Brian, one of the things I got to do this. Good morning. I had spent a little time over the weekend reading about President McKinley, who I knew absolutely nothing about whatsoever. You talk about an innovator, and with the how he used the tariffs then, and you're seeing like the blueprint for the Roaring '20s. Are we about to hear the Roaring 2000s? That's what it looks like to me. But what are you?
Well, McKinley wasn't president in the 20s. He was president, before Teddy Roosevelt. Remember, he was assassinated. But
right.
I've been reading a book, which is a big bug killer of a book, so thick, the biography of President McKinley, because Trump's been talking about him, and he's pretty interesting, and I have an interest because I'm from Ohio, he's from Ohio, but President McKinley, Trump's talking about him for two reasons, I think. I learned one thing about him. I knew one is the tariffs, right? He funded the whole country with the tariffs, but his family is from Scotland, which is where President Trump's mother's from. So I think President Trump feels a connection to President McKinley through Scotland, the tariffs, and they both got shot. Yeah. They both got shot, too. Let's not forget. But, that might be a factor as well.
Now, President McKinley was the first one to bring in the concept of using tariffs as a leverage.
I don't know. I don't want to get into some history lesson on tariffs. I mean, I don't want people to stop listening.
Okay.
But regardless, Canada and Mexico are tiny little economies that are 100% dependent upon the United States, and they're going to fail.
I didn't realize when you gave those percentages out, Mexico and Canada, how small it is compared to our economy in that.
The Canadian dollar is already losing value, I read this morning. Same thing with the Mexican peso.
Wow. Incredible.
Interesting to see how it affects gold prices this morning.
Well, we'll find out, yeah. That's right.
Yes, that's going to be very interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
But like Trump said, you're not going to get tired of winning, and I mean, we're winning on every level here. It's just incredible. And so quickly.
Yeah. You know what I wonder, Steve? Because one of the 1 ounce gold coins is the Canadian maple leaf. It's pretty popular. I wonder, I'll ask William Youngerman if it's a good time to buy the Canadian maple leafs now, because maybe if there's a trade thing, those might come in short supply. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. Fascinating, though. Very fascinating, and what a time we're living in. And
well, the thing is with Canada, what we're finding out about the Canadian economy, and remember, one of Trump's closest friends lately has been Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary. He is a billionaire, but he's Canadian. So I promise you, with this Canadian trade war, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, has been advising Trump every step of the way, and he has obviously a top understanding of the Canadian economy is a tiny little economy that seems a lot bigger than it is because they're on our coattails.
Right. Leary's a very, very bright guy, and from what I understand, he's been talking with Trump quite a bit prior to this.
He's been at Mar-a-Lago all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think he lives in Boca now. He moved up from Canada to Florida too.
Maybe I'm a neighbor. Maybe he's one of my neighbors.
Well, you could be, Brian. You never
we
know.
probably live in different parts of Boca.
yeah. But fascinating, and I do enjoy the history part. But boy, I mean, we are. You really feel we're in good hands.
We're living in history being made. I mean, look, Trump made regime change in Canada with Trudeau with just a couple posts on Truth Social. Now, Trudeau's there till October. There are elections in October. But that election wasn't going to happen. He made it happen. It's regime change.
Well, his opponent would be a conservative, from what I understand.
I don't know. I'm following a lot of Canadians, okay, that are talking the Canadian news, and they're telling us that the guy that they're pushing up to replace Trudeau is... They said I heard one Canadian say, if Trudeau is the World Economic Forum, the guy they're trying to replace him with is the speechwriter for the World Economic Forum. So they're trying to play a game here, but they're going to lose and we're going to win. All right, appreciate the call. All right, take care.
You're welcome. Have a
Take care. Yeah. By the way, we had great calls throughout the day. I got some breaking news, but I'm going to share it after the bottom of the hour break. Because I want to give it its due. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to tell everyone, though, about Lighthouse Medical Center and their incredible treatment that rid you, Steve, of neuropathy. Neuropathy is living torture. It really is. If you have neuropathy or a family member who does, I don't have to tell you. The dizziness, the feeling of pins and needles in your hands and feet, the falling down. One of the reasons a lot of elderly people fall all the time is they have neuropathy. They may not even know it, right? And these symptoms are awful. If you've not been diagnosed with neuropathy but have some of these symptoms, you might want to call Lighthouse Medical, take advantage of the no-charge consultation, and find out if you have neuropathy, numbness, pain, burning, tingling in your hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, dizziness, muscle twitching, no feeling at all in your hands and feet. You may have neuropathy, but if you have neuropathy, they have a treatment that will rid you of your neuropathy symptoms like it did with Steve Kane over 2.5 years ago, and it lasts. Not only does it work, it lasts. It does not return in Steve or any of the listeners I've met. And I met a couple of our listeners at Wings Plus on Inauguration Day who used to have all these neuropathy symptoms, and they're gone now, courtesy of Lighthouse Medical. Give them a call. Now, when you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show, so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. Here's the number, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I've got some breaking news I'm going to break to you after the bottom of the hour break. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. This is the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. Oh, yeah, this is big. When we come back, we'll on the radio, I'll get into it. It's pretty big. What I'm talking about is Elon and Trump just shut down USAID and fired everybody. They shut it down. I'm going to read through the story to get all the details when we get back. It's huge. That is so big. We'll be back in just over 2 minutes on the radio. I'll go through it. I didn't want to go through it till I read a little bit of it because it's just breaking. Oh, that's so big. Huge. Look at that. We'll be back in 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Oh. One minute, we'll be back live on the air. I'm going to go, this is huge stuff. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, please like and share the video if you don't mind. If I had a flight schedule this week, I wouldn't go. No way. No way. 'Stand by, guys. Here we go. 10 seconds. All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve, you back with us?
I think so.
Okay, good. This is big stuff. Now, during the break, somebody just asked me Lighthouse Medical's number, so I'm going to give Lighthouse Medical's number for the neuropathy out on the air, and then I'm going to. They're big. Elon Musk and Donald Trump did something really big. It's going to hijack the whole news cycle all day. Panic is going through the streets of Washington right now. But to reach Lighthouse Medical, it is 754-222-6642, 754-222-6642, and online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Okay, over the weekend, Elon Musk got control of, got access to two things. And both of them was going, he had to go through these very obstructive career, lifelong public servants. One, Elon Musk got control of the Treasury Department's payment system portal. That's where all the checks of the federal government are mailed out. Treasury Department tried to stop it. He got control. But the other thing was USAID. Now, he was trying to get access to USAID, and the guy that was running it actually physically tried to stop Elon Musk from having access to the USAID records and computers. And USAID is the big money launderer that sends all the money around the world to everyone that we give aid to. It could be Al-Qaeda terrorist, ISIS terrorist, Zelensky, or friends and family members of Congress people, all done through the guise of USAID. Elon Musk and President Trump have shut down USAID. This big breaking news story.
Oh my Lord!
Let me go through this story. The story just broke a few minutes ago, and I was waiting for a little more information to come out, and it did. And then I went through it during the bottom of the hour break. So, all the money they give around the world goes through USAID. Listen to this. Here's the headline. Elon Musk shuts down USAID with Trump's approval hours after taking control of it and locks its 600 staffers out overnight. This just happened. Elon Musk, yeah, I know, this is huge. This is like $1 quadrillion that they pay out. I know that's not a real number, but they pay out so much money, it might as well be an unknown infinity number, right? Elon Musk and President Donald Trump shut down the government agency tasked with humanitarian relief overseas after they agreed the organization was beyond repair. The billionaire First Buddy led a civilian review of the federal government agency with Trump's go-ahead and decided to shut down the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, and its Washington, D.C. offices have also been shut down. USAID, I know, nothing like this has ever happened before. Nothing. And I promise you, 99% of this is all corruption, probably paid to members of Congress and stuff. USAID staff were shocked when they woke up this morning to emails instructing them to stay out of the D.C. headquarters. It became apparent that it's not an apple with a worm in it, Elon Musk said on the 16-decade U.S. International Aid and Development Agency. Elon Musk said, USAID, he says, what we have is just a ball of worms. You've got to basically get rid of the whole thing. It's beyond repair. There's so much corruption going on with nonstop U.S. Treasury money going out the window every day. It can't be repaired. They just got to shut it down. We're shutting it down, he said, on X. The Tesla and SpaceX boss noted in the announcement on his social media site, X, that he spoke with President Trump about the agency and they agreed we should shut it down. In 2016, USAID had 10,235 employees on its payroll. Staffers said, staffers said they tracked 600 employees who reported being locked out of the computer system overnight. So they woke up today and they were locked out of the computer system. And I got to tell you,
which means their keys didn't work.
Yeah, these people are scared because this is like cartel-like corruption of money. This is one of the biggest financial scandals probably in history that's about to unfold here. And
getting back to our question on gold this morning, I would, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I would suggest gold prices might go way up this morning.
We'll find out in a few minutes. We'll find out. It may not have been baked in yet, Steve, because this story is just breaking as we're speaking. So the people in the markets may not even know about it yet. It's just happening. It's breaking. Copies of the email sent to the USAID employers show that replies were sent to Gavin Kliger, Kliger, one of 6 young engineers working for Musk's Doge, which appears to be operating under the White House Office of Personnel Management. Members of Doge gained... the Trump administration placed 2 top security chiefs of USAID on leave after they refused to turn over classified material in restricted areas to Elon Musk's Doge team. So Trump got rid of them. Members of Doge eventually did gain access Saturday. So they just got access to USAID on Saturday, and here we are Monday morning, and they shut the whole agency down. This is a big government agency. Okay, members of Doge did gain access on Saturday to the aid agency's classified information, which includes intelligence reports. Wow, this is probably like a deep state CIA front group, Steve. Musk's Doge crew lacked high enough security clearance to access the information. So the 2 USAID security officials, they give their names, they're not important, believe themselves legally obligated to deny access. The current and former U.S. officials had knowledge of the incident and spoke on the condition of anonymity to the press because they're not authorized to show this information. Elon Musk previewed the shutdown earlier on Sunday when he attacked the agency in a post to X after Trump claimed it was run by radical lunatics. That's President Trump said USAID was run by radical lunatics yesterday. Musk said, this is what Elon Musk said, and this is what he told Trump. USAID is a criminal organization. It's time for it to die. Musk doubled down and asked his 215 million followers on X, did you know that USAID is using your tax dollars, funded bioweapon research, including COVID? USAID funded COVID research, which how many people are dead because of that? President Trump attacked the USAID agency over the weekend, claiming it's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out. And then we'll make a decision on its future. President Trump underscored his support of Musk, telling reporters last night he felt Elon Musk was doing a good job. He said, even if we don't agree on every point, that's okay. They don't have to agree. He just has to do what the boss says, right? This is huge, Steve. And when they start getting into who's been getting the money from USAID, that's why they lock these people out, because what they would do is they'd go in there and start deleting all the records so people couldn't track it. And I bet you, just like the Treasury payment system, okay, I bet you these people that work inside USAID aren't just career corrupt people. This is a family business where you have to be very connected to get this job. So there's probably multi-generations of people that have been involved in funding all this illegal stuff through USAID.
You have to be careful. You don't want to get ahead of yourself here, because
Steve,
we're making a lot of assumptions. It may end up in the end being true or not.
No, you know those NGOs that we're always griping about?
Yes.
They're funded
that was the first thing that came into my mind.
They're funded by USAID. So the NGOs are done. No more money.
Jeez.
This is, I mean, President Trump hasn't even been president 2 weeks. And look at what he's done. This is huge. There's never been something like this. And something also came out over the weekend involving government workers I want to share after the break. But I'm gonna put you on hold, Steve, all right? We're going to take our last break of this Breaking News Monday. My name is Brian Craig. Big news, huh? Big news. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. Your thoughts on this are certainly welcome at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this. Hey, it's Brian. I'm going to put you on hold. I'll be to you in about 20 seconds. Hold on. All right, we are back, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the first gold and precious metals report of the week. William Youngerman, how the metals starting off the week?
Metals are starting up again. The market last week saw us go way over 2,800. We hit a high last week of $2,823 the ounce for gold. Friday it traded in a range of $2,784 to $2,823, closing out the week at $2,799.20, which was up $3.90 on Friday. Silver closed out the week down 34 cents at $31.27, but still nicely above that $30. And platinum was up $10 at $9.79, and palladium gained $18 at $9.99. This morning we've seen gold trading in a range of on the low of 27.66 all the way up to about 28.15. Right now we're at $2,809 on gold. That's up $13.20. Silver at $31.20, down 6 cents. Platinum at $9.63, that's down $16, and palladium $9.92, down $6.
Wow.
So the markets are doing very well considering the nice gains we saw last week and the record highs that were set for the price of gold.
Absolutely. You know, all this talk, let me ask you, all this talk of trade wars between the United States, Canada, and Mexico, you know, and of course, you know, gold and the precious metals are a great hedge over all kinds of economic upheaval, including trade wars. But before these trade wars heat up, would you recommend people pick up the Canadian 1 ounce gold maple leafs, or maybe some of the Mexican gold products, or does it not matter?
Well, there's plenty of other products to buy. So that's, you know, unless you're a fan of maple leafs or Mexican products, there's no reason to panic over that scenario. The thing will be, though, that there will be a lesser amount of gold probably being imported from those countries, such as China, Mexico, and Canada.
Oh, that's good for us.
So that will be very bullish for gold also.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. All right, now listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. And no matter where you're located in America or the world, you can do all your transactions over the phone and through the mail with William Youngerman. But if you're local, stop on in. His shop is literally a museum, as you'll see as you walk in the doors. And his store opens up at 10 a.m., located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton, which is immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can also give him a call toll-free, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And find both William Youngerman's phone number and address on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, it looks like we're in a good season for the metals, William.
Yes, indeed, we are. Yeah, and also, since you mentioned that our store is like a museum, I want to remind everybody that we do have a virtual museum in the largest collection of Florida financial instruments through all kinds of tokens, money, paper money, everything that Florida has ever issued in financial currencies since our colonial times.
Absolutely. All right, well, we'll touch base tomorrow.
It's at hometowncurrency.org, hometowncurrency.org.
Okay, that's hometowncurrency.org, hometowncurrency.org. All right, William, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care. Oh, man. Okay, Steve, we got some good intel from William Youngerman. Trade wars are great. Very interested. Trade wars are great for gold because there's good. we love trade because there's gold from gold comes in from China, Canada, and Mexico, right? So with an increase in tariffs, less gold's going to be coming into our country from those countries. So that reduces the supply. Supply and demand drives the price of gold up. That's awesome. That's great news.
Wow.
We want trade wars all the time, I guess.
That's breathtaking.
Yeah, it's great news. It's great news. Okay, so this shutting down of USAID, let me tell you, I bet you the records at USAID are being guarded by soldiers right now. I mean, they must have a team of very trusted soldiers or federal agents around those records. There are got to be people all over D.C. that are in a panic right now over this. Hold on, let me.
Well, but again, you're speculating.
No, they've done it. They've done it. This has happened. They've shut it down because Elon Musk said it's too corrupt to fix. It's got to be shut down. It's too corrupt to fix. And so a lot of very powerful people are not going to get, and it's the beginning of the month when the checks go out.
Has the market opened up yet?
This is happening as we're speaking. So the markets haven't been affected by this yet. But some of the most rich and powerful people in America and the world are not going to get their checks. Think about that.
Wow.
Think about that. I mean, this is one of the biggest. Elon Musk is going to uncover probably the biggest financial scandal in the history of humanity with this. I mean, we this is bigger than. Yeah, go ahead.
The only trouble I'm having is we've got to separate factual information from speculative.
This I'm not speculating. It's happened. They shut it down. Over the weekend, there was a lot of discussion about USAID sending money to terrorists and other people. But Lindsey Graham runs an organization that gets money from USAID.
Did you speak to William Youngerman this
morning?
I
just did during the break. That's where I got that information on the gold while you were on hold. But so
how did it go open this morning?
We're over 2,800. We're over 2,800 on gold. So, but this hasn't really hit the markets yet because they don't know about this. We got kind of an early jump on this story. We are breaking the news, okay, on the show. But over the weekend, there was discussion from Elon Musk about the corruption of USAID before he got access to it. And then they found out that Lindsey Graham runs an organization that gets money from USAID, and Elon Musk said, is this even legal? So what that tells me, there's a lot of people in Washington who either themselves or an organization connected to them are getting USAID money. USAID, what we're finding out is this is where a lot of the corruption is sent out at. You know what I mean? So a lot of criminals are going to be outed with this. This is huge. Then there was another thing that came out over the weekend. This came out from Caroline Leavitt, the White House press spokesperson, on Friday. They have I can't remember what the number is offhand, but it's a huge percentage. The federal workers that the federal workers that have been working from home, okay, a huge percentage of them have been working another job. And I don't mean moonlighting at night or on the weekends. They've been working a full-time job when they're supposed to be at home working for the federal government. So they've been collecting a full-time government salary while working another job all day. And they have, it's a large number of them. Thousands of federal workers in D.C. have been doing this. And they know who a lot of them are. And they've been doing this since the shutdowns in 2020. So 4 or 5 years, they've been drawing 2 salaries. So I mean, that's fraud against the federal government. That's imprisonment. That's hard. There's no way they could pay back the money. It's too much money. A lot of these federal workers, they're like $100,000 plus a year. Okay. And, some of President Trump fired the highest paid federal worker the other day. You know how much he was making, the highest paid federal worker?
How much?
$10 million a year.
Get out of here.
The guy that ran the Tennessee Valley Authority. $10 million a year. Okay? The swamp draining and the house cleaning that's going on is at a level that's never been fathomed before. And we're going to find that USAID, I'm guessing USAID, if you notice, and remember Zelensky? Did you see what Zelensky said yesterday?
No.
Oh. He gave an interview, and only about half, a little less than half of the money sent to Ukraine came to him. He doesn't know where the other half went. So, yeah, exactly. So he's like becoming a cooperating witness. He's scared. So what's going on here is this. We've realized, and we were talking about this on the show last week, that it seems that the corruption in Washington, they're only really able to steal money from foreign aid. Somehow they can't do it so easily from domestic spending for some reason. I don't know why, and I guess now we know. It's probably a lot of it done through USAID. So all these corrupt deals that these guys broker, mostly done through foreign aid, a huge chunk of it is done through USAID that Elon Musk has just shut down after he got control of the records. So we're walking into the biggest government financial scandal in history of the world in any government. There has never been a scandal even close to this. And Trump and Elon Musk, they got all the receipts. They got all the records. And this is... And I know Elon Musk has been going through it because he said Lindsey Graham runs an organization that receives money from USAID. He posted it online. And he said, is this even legal? Is this even legal? So Trump may get that third term, Steve. Trump may get that third term because everyone in Washington is going to be in prison. This is really amazing. Amazing that this has happened. Now, I want to tell people, I'm not sure if you're on hold, stand by. We're running towards the end, so I'm not sure if we're going to have time to get to the phones or not. I'll try to take a call or two, but time's running short. But I want to remind everyone, Mike Lindell, Steve, he's given us the greatest special you could have. Free shipping on all orders, no matter how large or how small.
I saw that.
Yeah, so with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. So you can order just a pair of MyPillow socks and it'd be free shipping, or you can order, $1 million worth of stuff and it's free shipping. No matter how large, no matter how small, free shipping on all orders site-wide. Plus you get the deals with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. I want to tell you the free shipping offer will end without notice. What will happen is I'll get an email in the morning before we go on the air and tell me it's over. I will not get notice before this. So take advantage of it, and it's a great time to do your Valentine's Day shopping. Okay, I'm going to try to take a call or two, but we are running short on time. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Steve and Brian. Good morning. It's JJ from Mass.
Oh, JJ, big news day.
Yeah, it's great. This is sort of a Trumpalicious, Magalicious, expialidocious.
Oh, I love it.
Of a
Yes,
day.
yes.
It's a glorious day, and I am not sick of winning, and I don't think I ever will be, being that we are from the great MAGA United States of America.
I mean, look at this racket. This racket of the. Hold on one sec. This racket with the NGOs that's been organizing the entire invasion of the United States. Remember, they are paid for by USAID. USAID has been funding the illegal invasion of our country.
You know, the Darien Gap, right? I mean, I was listening to people today, not today, over the weekend, talking about Biden and the NGOs. We're building, facilities in the Darien Gap to help move these people along to get them up here. And that's done through the NGOs. So all of that,
and that's done through USAID.
Ends.
So now that Elon Musk, he shut down USAID today, right? The day before he got control of the U.S. Treasury Department payment portal, all the checks will stop. And my guess is we're at the beginning of the month. Today's the day they go out. Done. They're not going. It's done.
And he locked them. And he locked them. The best thing about it is he locked them all out. I love that.
Just like he did when he took over Twitter.
Yep. That's what you got to do. It's almost like it's kind of like I said Delta the other day about one of Trump's guys, and Elon is sort of like the forensic accounting Navy SEALs coming in, swooping in, and just finding and shutting things down, because if you give them a second, they're going to be deleting and moving everything they can.
Well, and I'll tell you something. This is why he's been living at the White House at the Lincoln bedroom. It's the only place he's safe. He's going after the people that get this money are some of the most powerful people in the world.
Yep. And listen, when we negotiate with people, we basically got a royal straight flush. Canada, Mexico, Panama. I mean, we're going to win in the end on all of these people. And I think sending Rubio down there was a class act.
Oh, it was. Listen,
because he speaks Spanish.
We're out of time. I got to run, but I appreciate the call. All right, you made some good points. Well, Steve, this is if you didn't have a smile at the beginning of the day, you should have one now and for the rest of it.
Well, I got to wait till I get some of this stuff verified.
It's everything. You can take my word for it. I'm telling you. I got the news right here. I'm scooping everyone. Well, we're out of time for today.
I trust you.
Well, apparently not much. You got to wait to hear from someone else. You won't take my word for it. Well, we're out of time for today. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Wow. That's amazing. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, all right? And, of course, if you're already subscribed, please like the video. And share the video, if you don't mind, as well on your socials. That would help me a lot, guys. I really would appreciate that. This USAID story is one of the biggest stories of our time. I mean, this is... because one of the things that we've been, we're off the radio now. So this is the after the radio show. One of the things we've wondered is who is paying and behind this invasion of the United States. And I think we know now. They know. We're going to find out, because whoever's behind it is getting paid by USAID. The NGOs, those non-government organizations, are all paid through this USAID. So Elon will be going through that and finding out where the checks are going. And sometimes it'll be organizations, sometimes it'll be names. Don't worry. He sends rockets into space, okay? He's going to rescue those astronauts. The people that he has working for him are top financial people and top accountants. And this, we're gonna find out through this, quite likely, we'll find out who are the people really behind this invasion of the United States. And God knows what else we're going to find out. Well, listen, guys, I got to run, but I will have a new podcast today. And as this breaks, I'll be covering that. So again, if you're new to my program, make sure you subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video. My name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.